Well, I decided to do this video nonstop, and of course people are out playing with chainsaws, but if you know anything about the rains we've had here in the Midwest, you'd understand part of that. I've been tagged, and I'm going to do the first part of the video here in a minute on the tag. But I've got a couple of challenge things I'm doing too, stuff like that. But a commentary. There is a tag going around on a 5-item survival. And I've seen that some of the people who've done this challenge, this tag, have decided to include extra things. You know, and we're talking, okay, that's everyday carry. Well, if you see my videos, you know that in my wallet I carry a knife and a fishing kit. On my keys, I carry a knife, small one, and a flashlight. So I would assume if we're doing a 5-item survival challenge that I'm not allowed to take those and use them. But then it doesn't specify it. The people who put together the challenge didn't specify, can you include everyday carry, or do you have to count that as one of the 5? Another thing that came up, in fact, the person who challenged me, Tracker Scout, talking about doing stuff, and his challenge was to do it, and he troubled over something. He had a canteen that had a cup with it. Does that count as 1 item or 2? Well, he wasn't counting the pouch for the canteen. So if he doesn't count the pouch for the canteen, why would he discount the cup unless the cup was something he added? It becomes a quandary, you know? What is acceptable in these things and what isn't? So why don't you discuss that with you? Now, this is a knife that I grabbed real quick. I have not done any modification to this other than I hated the sheath that came with. It broke, and I modified that. I'll show this another time. But I could take this knife, and nobody would have a problem with this knife as it is. This knife came with a sharpening stone. Okay? If I take this knife, for it to count on a challenge, do I have to take the stone and not bring it with me? Since that was part of this knife. If that's the case, I could have grabbed my that Harbor Freight survival knife, and then I'd have a whole survival kit. I could bring something like this. Now, what do I need the knife this big for? You know what would happen if I had a knife this big? I would probably hack some brush, but really, this is not a good knife for practical purposes. It's a beautiful knife. I will do a thing on my knives and show you, because these things go through torture tests. I'm going to show you what's happening with their exposure to the elements and things like that. By the way, it's a very cold day today. And the rain gauge I had at home for the rain we had the other day, I could only measure up to 8 inches, and the rainfall in those 3 days hit 8 inches. So I know we got at least 8 inches of rain. Here's a knife that I would want to carry. Okay? This is the knife that I've had as everyday as went in the woods, my everyday carry for years now. But I modified it, and I added a ferro rod with a compass, and if you remember on the back, it has fishing hooks. Okay. This one just has the stone that came with it. This one has the modifications I made. So it means that if I take this, can I take the knife in the sheath, but I have to leave behind the ferro rod and stuff that were in there? Because it wasn't what came with it. Right? Okay, now let's look at my primal gear knife. Well, it comes with a sharpening stone. Now, if we were saying sharpening stones are okay if it came with it, it also comes with the ferrocerium rod. Am I allowed this as a single item? That's one of the questions about things like this, because it's not specified when they put together these challenges. My hands are starting to go numb. Okay, so I will be going out tomorrow night and doing a challenge, and probably for the next several days I'm going to do a couple different challenges. It'll be some cold nights. Alright, so I've discussed with you my particular quandary. I'd love to know what you think about that. Alright, so Rich, Spirit of Wild Wings, just having a quick discussion, a quick thought on how these challenges should work, about enumerating in greater detail the parameters. If it's 5 items and 5 items only, does that mean that if it's a multi-item thing, like a survival knife that has a hollow handle with built-in compass and matches and blah blah blah, or something you modified, can you take it? Anyway, I'll be doing my own answer to that challenge. And I won't be taking things like that. I'm just going to stick with 5 items and not using my everyday carry, not using anything else. Alright, this is Rich. I'll talk to you after a while.